Okay, so what we're doing today, we are putting the upper control arms, the PROTUNE upper tubular control arms, on the Sequoia. I did the driver's side of the day. Man, that was a fiasco. So anyway, got the workbench is a freaking disaster, but here's the PROTUNE arms, or the passenger PROTUNE arm, which has the Uniball. Now, there's a few special notes. Okay, so here's the Uniball. There's a few things about this that was a little, I'm not too happy about, because we paid some pretty good money for these. We paid $300 for 2 control arms. This part of the Uniball is stainless steel. This part is like nickel plated regular steel. I mean, it should be fine. What concerns me the most is it's pretty thin right there. And that's regular steel. In fact, when you scratch this, you can see it has like a nickel plating on it. So, you know, I don't know if that really matters or not. At any rate, it's probably stronger in a regular ball joint. That we could assure you with no doubt. The old ball joints are getting pretty sloppy in this thing. So, this is my conclusion from doing the driver's side, and we're going to do a DIY on the passenger side. Took about 4 hours to get this baby on there, and it wasn't fun. And you can see right now it is still hitting the spring, and both the knuckle and the upper control arm are still hitting the spring. Now, the thing about it is it's up on the jack. So the passenger side with the stock arm hits the spring immediately. This side hits it, but the vehicle has to be probably 2 inches higher to hit it. So I don't know, under normal conditions, is that going to be okay? You know, I really don't know. But here's, you know, this one hits it pretty much immediately. Even at ride height, it's hitting it, popping off and on in between the spring loops, and it's a real pain in the butt. So we're at, you guys see that all right? We're going to take off this guy right here. So first of all, it's a castle nut with a cotter pin in it, and so we'll get a pair of. We'll spray it first with little PB blaster. Get in here with these needle nose, and we will open up that cotter pin. We're gonna get our impact out here. I feel like maybe you guys can't see that, maybe you can see that. Can't always tell. These are 22, I believe. Depends on if your ball joint, what brand it is. No. So this side was 22, and this one's a 19. But like I said, the driver's side ball joint's been replaced since the passenger side. The big impact making pretty short work of any bolt. You can hear I barely even touched the trigger, and it took it right off. There's that. Now I have our press kit for this, which should be able to get up here and just smack this a few times, smack it there, and it should pop right off. Well, I got it. I had to use the old trusty axe because my 5-pound sledge wasn't heavy enough. Put that over there. Really stuck. And so at this point, we're going to get up here. We're going to undo this big through bolt. It's a 19. First of all, let's go ahead and pop out these 2 snaps. And then we'll get a little magic juice on the thread over there. Get our take your fingers, push it out. We're going to get that washer. It's going to have to slide down the bolt as we go here. This side's got a lot more room. The other side was pretty tight. There we are. We're going to go ahead and take this totally off the bolt. We won't be using that. We have new ones. Look how long that bolt is. I'm surprised it never get bent, especially guys like me putting too much lift on stuff. But and there's the UCA. I'm sorry, I put UAC on accident on another video. And there it is. So the bushings are pretty much solid. They are pretty dried and cracked. Usually that's not an issue though on these. And this is just going to get you a better ball joint. Chuck that over there. And so yeah, now we got to get this out. I got the jack under, the jack's under the bottom ball joint right now, and Sequoia is sitting on the jack stand right there. So I believe that my snap ring pliers are not big enough to take the snap ring out. Did I get you guys? No. So we're going to do here, we're going to take, well, let's see first. Let's go ahead and take this off, the boot off, or at least push it up out of the way. And we have a snap ring right here. Well, so we got it loose. But I don't think there's enough room to get in behind it, which there's not. And your snap ring pliers is probably going to be exactly the same way as mine are. I feel like you can't see any of this. Maybe you can. So we're going to spread the snap ring. We're going to try to get under the corner of it. Alright, next thing on the list to buy is a better set of snap ring pliers. Alright, chuck that over there where it's not going to be in the way. And here's the snap ring. So here's what we did. Our pliers are too little, so instead of putting in each hole, I put the one side in the hole and one side next to it, like that, and I was able to pry it more and then get something under it and pop it out. Now we're not going to use any of this stuff. Obviously, if you're going to reuse any of this, you're going to want to go buy some bigger snap ring pliers and do it correctly. You need a pretty good size. That is definitely on the list. And it's the same way with this upper ball joint. If you're going to save it, you're going to want to use the press tool like this. You're going to want to put the cups on it and press it out. Since we don't give, I'll be honest, we don't give a rat's ass about this ball joint, and there is some play in it. You can feel it clicking up and down. We'll just come in here like a savage if I get a swing on it. Alright, so let's see, we got the press kind of rigged up on here. Let's see if we get to pop this joint out. It's not exactly straight, but we'll see if it'll work. Yeah, alright, well, it's whatever. Whatever works, right? That's not supposed to go that difficult. Like I said, the other side, literally one swing with that 5-pound hand sledge and it just shot right out. So, we're going to do here, clean everything up just a little bit because it got grease everywhere. Try to keep it off the floor. We're going to wipe this out. Just like so. Then we're going to get some Loctite. We're going to get some grease. Okay. So what we're going to do here, set that to the side. We're going to take our Uniball. We're going to take a little bit of grease first. We have a little bit of this lube ball stuff. And put a little bit on our finger. We'll just put just a little bit on there to give it a little glide. So it doesn't start crooked, hopefully. We're going to take our bolt out of the bottom. And on these, you cannot pull this in. See, it says like this. You cannot pull it in with a bolt. You think you'd be able to, but you cannot do that. So, let's go ahead and do this. We're just going to, we'll just finger tighten that bolt in there. We just want to kind of hold it straight. Then we're going to stack our press up. Okay. So here I have a little cup right here below it. We just have a socket, right? What is that? A 36 millimeter socket. It's just going on top of that. So this should work. What he's on the other side is the exact setup. You want the bottom cup to be big enough so it doesn't go in there. We end up taking, I forgot, we end up taking the bolt and washer off to do this. And we're going to watch this gap right here close up. We're going to turn the press until it closes up, and you're going to feel the press. You can tell where it's not going to go anymore, and that's where you need to be. So, start snugging this up right against the fender well, so might be a little difficult. Okay. Alright, and you can see we're all the way down. Everything nice and flush. Sweaty after that one. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bolt with our Loctite. We're using blue Loctite. We're going to go and put a fairly good amount on there. And if you didn't know Loctite, if you ever can't get it loose with Loctite on it, you could take a little bottle torch, and was it 500 or 600 degrees, Loctite dissolves. You heat it up and dissolve Loctite, and you usually turn it right out. We're going to put this in here. We're going to torque this bolt to 120 foot-pounds. Okay, so we just stuck the control arm in, and what makes it really hard about these aftermarket control arms, you got to kind of pry at them a little bit to get the washers. See, there's a washer here, a washer there, and there's 4 washers on top. It's a really tight fit. I don't know if their prototype had skinnier washers or what, but it's a little pain in the butt to get in there. Now, the next thing, put my stuff out here, we're going to go ahead, we torqued the bottom bolt to 120 foot-pounds. The camera went dead, so I couldn't get it on camera. Anyway, that's done. It's Loctite, blue Loctite, torque to that. You can use red if you want, whatever color Loctite you want to use. Now, this you're going to have 2 things. We got the bolt still loose up there. We're going to, our CB axle popped out of the joint, so we're going to have to try to get it back in here. Before we do that, we're going to have to pivot the Uniball. The Uniball is facing straight up and down. And these things are pretty hard to turn when they're new. And the last one I couldn't get like that either. I put an extension and a cheater bar on it. Let me just, well, it's not painting out so good. Let me see here. But that action going, and we're just going to pry up on this, and it's going to turn that ball. Now we got to turn that ball because whenever we lower this down, we want it tilted that way, because whenever we put this in here, I can't tell, are we in there or what? I think that we're in, maybe. So anyway, we got the jack under the lower ball joint still. We're gonna jack this up to about right here, and we're gonna try to get that lined up with that. It's not close enough even yet. That's what I mean. It's a real pain lining it up because you don't have the ball. The ball doesn't turn easy enough is what the problem is. Okay, that was quite the pain in the butt. Finally got it jacked up a little higher. Just kept messing with it and finally it went in. It's definitely replacing a Uniball. If you break that bolt on the side of the road is not an option. You're not going to be able to pull it home with another truck. You're going to have, well, your wheel's not going to be hooked up anymore on top. You're almost going to have a wrecker come pick up the front and haul it in. I don't know if we'll keep these or not, but at any rate, we should be down far enough now. Yeah, plenty enough to get it started. We're going to do the same thing on this. Top bolt, we're going to Loctite it, and we're going to hog it down to 55 foot-pounds instead of 120 like the bottom. There we are. And if I can find, we did the torque wrench, and we also lost our top nut, fell off somewhere. We'll put this bolt on, we'll get the jack out, we'll find it. And we need to tighten that top control arm. So, 55 foot-pounds. Whoop. $55. And this is a says H12. I don't know what size Allen key that is, but it's bigger than your normal set has in it. Okay. Always turn torque wrench back down. Okay, so we're all installed here. We're gonna have to put a zip tie on our ABS line here. So we'll put it like right there and leave this quite a bit of slack there. Other than that, we're ready to put the wheel back on. We're gonna go and retorque our wheel spacers. The other side was fine. I'm just kind of paranoid about that also. So we'll do that, find the bolt. We'll be right back when we're all done. Alright, so the maiden voyage went pretty good actually. It drives a lot better. We have enough clearance now to where I could turn the wheels to full lock and they don't rub on the back of the fender. So I mean, you know, they're not, the only reason why it lifted my vehicle is because the other control arms were binding and wouldn't let it go up all the way. I did notice that when you're driving, everything is a lot more stable because the top of the tire before was tilted in a little bit and now it's pretty much straight. It seems like it's, you know, when they aligned it at the dealership with the other control arms, they're like, well, we maxed out the best we could to make it sit straight on top, which is adjusting the bottom, bottom end. So, I mean, maybe you could use an alignment. It drives pretty much perfect. I don't want to do the alignment right now. We're going to have to do something with some tie rods, with some better quality tie rods. I might call one of the lift companies that sell the new subframe, the whole kit. I don't really need the whole kit. I just need just the subframe. And we'll see, maybe we get some of those from those guys. You know, I don't know. We'll see how that all pans out. Overall, what I say is worth $300 and a lot of effort. It doesn't bind up when you hit bumps. I mean, if you hit a big enough bump, it's probably going to bind and hit the spring, but under normal driving, it's not. And once I took off, it settled a little bit down. And you can see, I mean, we're probably 3 fingers width from the spring right now, or before we were touching, sitting right there. So I mean, got a little room. Overall, the upper control arms are sitting almost level. And granted, this isn't level ground. They're sitting a little bit funky. It looks lower in the front than what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. That's kind of, I would say they're worth it for my purposes. It would not have been worth $800 for the Total Chaos arms. It's just not worth that. If I was going to spend $800 on upper control arms, I could have spent a little over $1,000 and bought everything, the subframe piece, everything. And so, you know, I don't know. We'll see how it all pans out. But that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.